Vic, are you going through this week with the expectation that you will not have Xavier on Sunday?
It's yet to be determined. He didn't practice yesterday. He'll be limited today, and we'll see how he progresses through the rest of the week.
When you think of Philadelphia, I know obviously you're from there. What comes to mind? What memories?
Memories? Lots of them. You know, I grew up a Philadelphia fan in all sports, diehard. Used to, when the Phillies were on the West Coast and it'd be late at night, I'd hide a transistor radio in my bed and listen to the game on radio by Sam and Richie Ashburn. So I was a diehard Phillies fan and Eagles fan growing up, and got my first job in pro football there back in the USFL with the Philadelphia Stars, and so Philly's a special place to me.
How much can you take from the experience you had with them just last year?
You know, not a lot because I was giving them more information than they were giving me. You know, it's kind of the way it turned out. So if there's any advantage to be had by me being there last year, it's in their favor.
Vic, what's the outlook for Jaylen Phillips this week without giving away, any strategy?
Yeah, I think it was great that we got him in the game last week. He played, I don't know, I want to say 25 or so plays, and I think that was really good. I think, hopefully he'll be better this week. We're still going to not play him full time, give him not like he was in the first game, but he's definitely progressing and definitely happy to have him back.
What are Jalen Hurts' strengths?
He has no weaknesses, so that's a strength. And I've always liked him. I told Howie back in 21 he had his quarterback. Very strong. Obviously, his running ability is, tops. Gives them an extra guy in the run game, makes it hard to defend. Excellent scrambler, great leader. It's hard to find fault with him.
Vic, here comes the obligatory Cam Smith question. He got some snaps on defense last week. How did he do in those, and is he ready for more snaps on defense?
Well, he got 4 last week at the end of the game, and they were pretty uneventful, just not to his fault, but, just not much happened. He's getting more reps in practice, and he's progressing, and you never know with our injury situation in the secondary, he could show up.
With Nick Needham, Vic, any sense about whether he's going to be able to help you either this week or in the weeks to come?
Yeah, we hope that he can, and if not this week, in the weeks to come. He's practiced on the scout team the previous couple weeks, getting some reps here, and I'm anxious to see him. Everybody's talked about him, but I hadn't seen him yet, and hopefully we'll be able to get something out of him.
In the
Last
past,
week
he's
you
had a
alluded
pretty.
to rust with Christian Wilkins. Is that kind of wearing off right now, or?
Yeah, that was alluding to earlier in the season, not last week. Yeah, he's doing fine. He's doing good.
Going back to Nick, he's played a versatile role in previous years. How do you see him fitting in, whether it's corner?
Yeah, that's a good question. If you're versatile, it helps. Especially when you start having injuries like we've had in the secondary. See him more as a nickel or a dime or a safety and an emergency corner at this point.
Is the tush push a fair competitive play?
Yeah, it's fair. It's legal. It's within the rules, and so it's definitely fair. They just happen to be really good at it because of their offensive line. They got a lot of power and size and athleticism that can get down low. And the quarterback's a load. He's really a good quarterback. I think they'd have just as much success with the normal sneak as they are now. But, with the push, it's become their thing. Credit to them for utilizing the rules to their advantage. I think it was 2006 when they said you could push. And it took almost 15 years for somebody to incorporate it into their offense in a logical way, and credit to them for that.
Can you forgive me? It's just can you do like a rugby deal where you line up guys to push each other? That might be dumb,
Yeah,
but
I mean, everybody's it's been tried. It's this You know, everybody's tried everything. Their personnel in the O-line and the quarterback, that combination, along with who's ever pushing, is tough. You know, there's a lot of teams doing it now. They do it the best.
Coach, their run game ranks number one in success rate in general. What are the challenges they present?
Very challenging. First off, you start with their offensive line, and they got really good players in the O-line. It's probably the best offensive line in the league from a talent standpoint. They got size, experience, continuity. The 4 of the 5 starters have been 4 of the 5 starters for 2, 3, 4 years now. They do a great job. They're extremely well coached by Jeff Stoutland. They got a good slew of backs running back by committee. And then you throw in by the way, the quarterback might keep it and run it himself. So it's a very tough assignment from just their talent level, just the way they've been coached. And now you add the running part of the quarterback. Yes.
Does that last part drastically change how you defend the run in terms of fitting it up? Because they can, pull it out and have him go around.
Yeah, there's another layer to their running game that a lot of teams don't have, and that makes it tough.
Vic, I'm a Tyreek should be MVP guy. I'm not putting those words in your mouth, but I'm wondering in today's NFL, could a wide receiver, in your opinion, be worthy of MVP?
Yes, for sure.
Does Tyreek fit that mold in general?
He does.
From a schematic or play call standpoint, were there some things you were planning if Jalen Ramsey had been available that you haven't gotten to but will get to, without getting into specifics, once he's back?
Yeah, anytime you have a great player at any position, it will affect the way you call the game and schematically play. And he fits that bill, and hopefully we get him back here sooner rather than later. He's done a great job with his rehab. He's attacked it like I've not seen many people attack a rehab. Sometimes those great players just have that little something in their DNA that they heal faster, and I think he's one of those guys. And but it's also due to the work he's put in. So anxious to get him back, but we have to make sure he's ready to play before we put him out there.
We've heard the coaches and players talk about the impact he's had in terms of being in the meeting room every day despite being in rehab. Did you guys feel a boost with him being in uniform yesterday?
Yeah, I mean, because if you remember, it was the first 2 practices. It was the second practice training camp. He got hurt, and those practices at that point are only about an hour long, and he got hurt halfway through the second one, so we really haven't seen him. And so it was nice to see him out there.
Do you know how he came out of yesterday? Is he able to continue on this path today, or does he need to back off?
I think so.
again?
I haven't heard anything to the contrary.
Vic, how big is this Philadelphia game? Is it one of 17, or is it a little bit bigger for some reason?
No, it's one of 17. It's no different than our last 2 games in that it's an NFC opponent, so the weight on the schedule and standings is the same. It just happens to be being played on a bigger stage on Sunday night. But in the final analysis, it's game 7 of 17.
I want to follow up on the Nick Needham question. He was working on scout team, you said, the previous 2 weeks. Is he now back in the base defense, especially when you have sort of an unsettled cornerback situation?
Yeah, we've given him some snaps, not a lot. We have another week before we have to make a decision on him. We can use him this week if we so choose, but he's not had a lot with the defense.
With Perry, what did he do particularly in practice that helped him elevate himself?
From the day he got here, which he got here right before the Atlanta preseason game, I think, and got thrown in the action in that game and played well. He's quick, he's fast, he's instinctive. He's not played much football in the NFL. He's been around, but he's really never played much. So, been impressed with him in practice, so thought he was due an opportunity there.
Coach, we talked about their run game being so stout. They have 2 explosive receivers as well. How do you balance that? Is it a pick your poison situation there with run game versus deep passing game?
Well, It is. I mean, I thought I had the perfect defense for these guys, but then I realized I had 12 players on the field. And they're good. I mean, their receiving group of Brown, Smith, Goddard, you know, you can match them up against anybody. You know, and then the run game we've talked about, the scrambling quarterback, you know, it's an extremely tough assignment.
Who's Sirianni like?
I like Nick. Nick's a really good guy. He's focused, very open. Think he's doing a great job with the Eagles, you know, since he's gotten there.
When Jalen can return to game action, do you envision that
Jalen
Ramsey?
Ramsey?
Do you envision that star role that he had played with the Rams, or maybe not so much? Too early?
It's too early to say. Probably not quite as much as he did there.